Hey, guys. It's your girl, Vixkia's Faith, and I'm here with another episode of Cocktail Therapy. And I have a very special guest with me today, one of my very good friends. And I'm going to let her introduce herself. Tonight, we are discussing divorce again, and we're discussing this because I got a guy's perspective and a guy's point of view as far as divorce was concerned. If y'all haven't checked out Big Hurt's episode, make sure you go back and check his episode out. However, my um I wanted a female's perspective
Mhm.
of divorce and how it affects them. To try to get both sides, not of a particular story, but both sides of the hand, the cloth, whatever, however you want to space that out. So I'm gonna let Charmaine introduce herself. Charmaine.
Hi, everybody. My name is Charmaine. I'm a 3.5 year stroke survivor, and I call myself Sassy Stroke Survivor, and I got a big story to tell. So,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's time to share. Yeah, go ahead.
I got you. Okay, and so Charmaine, we have these conversations over drinks. And the drink could be whatever the drink of your choice is. Gonna tell us what you drinking. Tell
Yes. Hi.
Rose, oh gosh, she pulled her big old glass. No, just look, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Where you at?
I I made me a strawberry margarita tonight. I don't have any
Hmm.
ice. And I'm gonna put this disclaimer out here. The people that keep saying they're gonna give me something for my housewarming, Ninja Slushy, which I know they're out of, as well as the ice maker that go on account. I just want the ice maker, and y'all playing games with me because I keep hearing I'm gonna get it, and I understand times are hard, but don't be telling me you're gonna give me something, you ain't gonna give me nothing. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-oh.
So
That
I'm
part.
putting it out there right now. My ice
Hmm.
maker, my Ninja Slushy. Those are the two things that I want the most in the whole wide world right now. I'm just
I'll
putting it
drink to that.
out. Okay. Give
Drinking
it
to
to
that.
your sister. I don't have a refrigerator with the ice maker on it. So I need that. I don't want to put the cubes in the thing and wait on them. No, I want my ice maker. That's what I want. Just put it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Okay. I need it. I need it in my life. Oh,
God.
okay. So Charmaine, I do want to get started with your story, but I
Okay.
want to get a little background. I
Yes.
want to know kind of like how you and your husband met,
Hmm.
and that sort of thing. How did we get to walking down the aisle?
Okay. I'm gonna do that. I wrote a lot of notes because in my mind I forget things. So just if I'm looking down, you know why. Okay.
I got
Okay,
you.
well, here we go. So thank you, Faith, for giving me the opportunity and a platform to tell my divorce story. This is difficult for me because it is.
Yeah.
Uh but I wanted to talk about it and get it all out there because I kept saying, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But guess what? I am. I'm ready
Okay.
today. The
Okay.
year of our
Okay.
Lord 2025. I'm ready. I'm
Ah, come
ready.
on, the year of our Lord
Right.
2025.
You're right.
Yes, we ready.
We
Okay.
ready. We ready. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So honesty and transparency.
Hmm.
Uh we met. Yeah. Let me get back to that. The feelings of suicide, depression, things like that. I'm getting to it. It's coming.
Okay. I got
Okay,
you.
so act one, we met in 2002, friends. We met at church, involved in different church things and youth activities and stuff like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're both young adults. And 2004, we started dating. And yeah, we started dating in 2004. And I thought to myself, I think he has potential.
Mm,
Potential. Remember
mm,
that. Uh-huh. Red
okay.
flag number one, that jump waving in the wind. Don't forget that.
Potential. Okay.
Potential. Not there, but I saw something. I saw something and maybe I thought that I could get in there. Moving on. Okay,
Mm.
so I understood that, we had a 6 year age difference and
So you're older.
I am 6 years
Okay.
old.
Okay.
So I would think, that's okay. We don't have to rush anything too fast. Just kind of chill out and, be together, hang out, do stuff like that. So it started getting a little bit more serious and a little bit more serious as time went on.
Okay.
But I really wanted to be there to support him, to help I want to say upgrade, but yeah, upgrading him. I really did. And just showing him new things and helping him not be so insecure about stepping out and, becoming more a leader.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to think. So yeah, I'm trying to, yeah, okay. So during the job time, the time he was working little jobs, I was mainly working, bringing home the bills. I was the main breadwinner. Uh, and in 2006, so in '05, I was the main breadwinner doing, we was,
So had y'all got married at this point?
no, we were just seeing each other a lot, and his job was not very steady, but mine was. So mainly, I shouldn't say breadwinner. That didn't happen until 2006. So I'm fast forward, going too
Okay,
fast.
because I'm just trying to see if y'all were married at that point in time. Y'all were still just dating.
We were dating and engaged, and the money
Okay.
was, yeah,
Not
it
where it needs to
wasn't
be.
right. It wasn't balanced. So 2006, we got married. I became the main breadwinner. I will work the full-time job and, sporadic jobs here and there, trying to get on, but, hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, we got married 2006. I'm trying to see. Um, I'm losing my place. Yeah, I really thought because during marriage counseling, we was, the person was like, you have to make sure that the foundation is solid. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I'm just
Yeah.
running my mouth. Oh, I got this. I got this, because back up. I've been married before. I got married in 2000. I was only married for 2 years. He ended up, yeah, it was physical,
Oh wow.
emotional, abusive. So yeah,
Okay.
I bust his head and came on back down to
She
Memphis.
said I pulled the Tina in the limo. Cause
Yeah, she
why?
did. She did
Cause
all
we
that
ain't doing
because
this. Okay.
right. If you love me, you
Okay.
shouldn't be touching on me, correct? Unless it's
Correct.
love.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, so I got divorced in '02, and then, just like I said, coming down here to regroup and be with my mom and stuff like that. So marriage counseling, he was like, just I want you to be careful, be sure. Are you sure? Should y'all date a little bit longer? It's like, oh no, we got this, we got this. So
Y'all ain't
so
happy.
we're
Okay.
married and I'm working and he's, kind of in between off and on and everything. And he really wanted to get on at this company for the city. So he kept I kept pushing him, you can do it, you can do it. I got you, I got you. No
Being a
matter I'm
cheerleader.
holding you down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what we're going through, we're gonna make it because we're building up together.
Because we love
And
each other and we together. Yeah.
right. This the way it's supposed to be, right? So we're gonna build this empire together. Ugh. No,
Yeah.
not so much. Um, so 2000, let me jump on ahead. So that's 2000. Who's that girl? 2000, maybe 7 or 8. So
You
let's
was you
put
had 6. Y'all got
okay,
married.
right.
Breadwinner. Trying to get
Hmm.
on. Okay.
Right. So finally he started working for the city in 2000 and maybe about 8 or 9 he started there in the city. 2009. Uh During that time I became very sick. I was on my cycle for like 4 months straight.
Oh God.
Before then, we were trying to have children, and I just could not figure out why I couldn't conceive. And
Yeah.
then, come to find out, my cycle started, and it would not stop. So, um, yeah, that was at the very end of 2008. So now we're into 2009, and I'm still on my cycle. It will not stop. Of course, you're not able to have kids because even if we could, I couldn't hold it.
It's
So that was
it's not
problem
gonna
number
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I went in the hospital in 2009, ended up having a emergency surgery. So it was a total hysterectomy.
Oh wow.
It was, they couldn't save no eggs or nothing. no ovaries, everything gone. Swipe me out.
Wow.
Appendix out, and I had some of my gallbladder, not gallbladder, but some of my intestines removed. So bowel obstruction surgery.
Mm,
So it all happened in 2009. They thought that they could save the eggs, but they couldn't. I was just too sick. So
wow.
that was our first think major blow. That was a major blow.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm in the hospital with all the things. I'm like, see, I knew I can't have no kids. I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing. He's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I got you. You know, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Why don't we adopt? So at first I was like, I don't know. But we prayed about it and I prayed about it. And I was like, okay. Because he said, children still need loving homes,
Ooh, they absolutely do.
They absolutely do. So we said, okay, let's go for that. So we started the adoption journey, uh 20 2010 we started that.
Hmm.
Um and I was, sad, depressed some, but at the same time still hopeful because I still get to be somebody's mommy.
Mommy, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
and that's like the main goal, right? To
right.
have to get the husband, you want to get the kids. So it didn't come the way I thought, but
Right.
I was still somebody's mommy and we were happy. He was somebody's daddy. So, so
It worked
it,
out.
was okay. It worked out. It worked out. And then maybe about 2012, he started becoming just a little bit distant. I think that we rushed into parenting too early.
You think
That's,
so?
I think so. I
Is
think so.
it so? Let me ask you this. Do you think maybe you guys needed to emotionally get past finding out that you couldn't physically have children before y'all welcomed other
That's
kids
it.
to the equation?
That's the issue. I didn't let myself heal. My heart hadn't healed yet.
Okay.
I was so, he was too, so quick to fill in, but we should have made sure that we were properly emotionally ready to give these children everything that they need, you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
without our mess and baggage spilling over into them. So, it was just so,
Got
yeah. So yeah, 2012, he started, just being a little bit distant or whatever, what have you. And I was like, we need to try to make sure we okay. So we went back a little bit to marriage counseling. And it was like, okay, so we think we tightened it up. We got it kind of together about what we need to change, what we
mhm.
need to do moving forward. And it was okay for a while. Um, but his hours changed at work. So he wasn't at home as much with me and the children. Um, so 2014.
Mm.
2014, I got a very strange phone call.
Okay.
Mhm. Right. And someone asked to speak to him. And I said, oh, he's not here. He's at work. Oh, okay. Well, let him know so and so. I said, huh? Female. Excuse me? So I said, oh, okay. I let that go. Again, I did not address it right off. I
Okay.
did not address that right off because I wasn't really sure, you
And you don't want
know,
to jump to conclusions.
there you go.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to rock the boat if it's not about to tip over. So
Hmm.
when nobody drowning, with no life jackets out. So I say,
Yeah.
maybe this is not even what it is. So I didn't say nothing. Maybe about a month later, uh, I got another phone call. And this time I was for sure what was going on. And there was something shady was going on. So
Right.
I found out at the job that someone had been they were people were meeting up and doing things that should not have been done, and then there was some sexting. So there was um there was a whole
So,
situation going on.
question: how did that
Yeah.
person get your number?
Thank you. Do tell. Do tell.
That's what I'm confused about. Cause that was it God or how did that person get your number if they're communicating with?
Mhm,
That's crazy.
mhm. So I said, because of course I have a cell phone, he has a cell phone, and there was really no home phone, so why aren't you calling me? Asking for him. So I don't get that. I still never I don't
That's
think
really
figured that
odd and
out, but
weird. Yeah, cause like, why you calling my? This a cell phone. This ain't something I give out. They don't have a cell phone directory.
right.
They don't.
Exactly. And don't and do not. So I'm like, why? But hey, I said, oh, okay, well. So when I found out about the sexting and that, of course, I confronted then. I went off.
Yeah.
I blew up. I said,
Right.
hey, oh, okay, okay. So what I got going on ain't good enough. You gotta have pictures and so and doing so. I said, oh, okay. So that's who you really are. No, no. So of course denial and I'll never do it again. And let's go back to counseling. I said, that ain't the answer for everything if you're not going to change.
Yeah.
If this is what's really in your heart, it's gonna happen again.
Yeah.
You understand
Apologies.
that, right?
Apologies without change behavior means you meant to do that. You're gonna
Right.
continue to do that, and it's not gonna
Indeed.
change. Yeah.
Indeed. So I was like, "Oh, okay then." I said, "Oh, I see." So, we went to back to counseling for the maybe third time. I done lost count, girl. I ain't got enough fingertips for that. So,
Ah.
uh, so we went back to counseling again, and it seemed to be better. Seems like some real steps forward, progress, moving forward to changes were happening, and they were for a while. Um, and then my mother got sick. She was diagnosed with breast cancer,
Mhm.
stage 3 breast cancer in 2016.
Mhm.
So, yeah, end of 2015, beginning of 2016. So, he and I jumped right into that role of course, me being the main caregiver for her and doing things like that, and
Yeah.
helping her with chemo visits and radiation and doctor's visits and
Yeah.
grocery stores and just all the things. I jumped right in because it would just make myself and my brother. So very small family. So I didn't mind taking on, but it was a lot. Still dealing with my children, him and my mother. That was, so
Did you?
we
So
go
let
ahead.
me ask you this for you, and I know. So did you not? Did your brother not help out at all with your mom? Okay. All right. Keep going. Keep on
Give me
going.
one, give me 1 second. Give me
Let's
one
take a
second.
sip on that.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so yeah,
Okay.
it was a lonely road for her as well as myself because we just felt so isolated and alone, and she was really getting worse. She was dying in front of me, and I did not realize it. I did not.
Yeah.
I always kept praying for healing. God heal her. God touch her body.
Yeah.
She's gonna come out. She's gonna be okay. She's only
Yeah.
64. She's too
Cause that's
young.
what
She's
we've
too
been,
young.
baby. Cause that's what we've been taught in church to
That's
pray and
right.
believe that
That's
healing
right.
comes to pass.
That's right. That's right. So I was like, oh, 64 should be all right. But she wasn't. We lost her in 2017
Mhm.
at 64. And I lost a part of my heart that day.
Yeah.
So when we lost her, because she was my best friend. So when we lost her, that really took me down a depressing, spiraling, out of control type of thing. Before then, I should back up a little bit. Before then, some strange activity was going on with him. He would, and maybe it was the stress, I'm sure it was some stress of the children, stress of, I don't know if work or whatever, but my mom, because he was kind of close to my mom too at the time. So
Yeah.
it was hard on everybody. So he would disappear sometimes. I'd be like,
Yeah.
where you going? And you're like,
Like,
I'll
Harper,
be
where are
there.
you? Yeah.
Right. Who is this? So he would leave and sometimes he would answer his phone, sometimes he wouldn't. And, so it kind of slowed down a little bit though once I kind of confronted him about it. So I said, okay, well, but once I lost her, I started to leave. I had to get away because I was angry. I mean, I was bitter. I was hot. So
Yeah.
um I left and I would leave him there with the children sometimes and just, go off and take a ride, take a drive and free my mind and cry, scream, whatever I needed to do.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I come on back to the house, and that went on for a few months. Actually, that went on for a few months. Um, so that's 2017, 2018, maybe about 20. Okay, so about 2019, he starts leaving again. Starts leaving.
Mm.
I gotta work late. And I said, yeah, 2019, that's right. I said, you gotta work late. You you usually get off at the same time. You at home by this time, you know. Well, tonight I gotta stay late and do some stuff. I said, oh, okay. Mhm. So I knew something was wrong with that. I knew something's wrong with that.
Yeah.
Um Works around a lot of females, so it's easy. It's easy to dip and dive. And I had a couple of friends say, okay, Charmaine, here's what you do. You got your pen and pad? Yeah, whatever. What I need to do. Okay, so if you go in the morning and check the mileage on his car and then count it from the time he gets to work, from the time he gets back, you'll know if something going on. I said, I'm not about to stalk him.
Yeah.
I said, the truth will always come out. I'm not about to chase no look.
I think that
So
this is crazy. But it's women who think that. It's women
yeah,
who think that, yo, if I just track what he doing, if I'm checking his phone, if I'm
yes,
here, there, everywhere, if I pop up where he at, if I
yes.
do things, they think that's gonna keep that man right there. And it's not. It's,
It's
if
not.
anything, I think that's gonna speed up the demise of your relationship.
That's right.
Um,
That's not
if
real love to me.
it's not, because now it's like you don't trust me, and so now, and of course, we have intuition, right? We know, but a lot of
Mhm.
times the man might actually have to work late. So you going through all these changes. I had someone tell me
Mhm.
that they dated somebody. Oh, no. I'm going to use this as an example. I had a
Okay.
friend who's a truck driver. Okay,
Okay.
he would be gone over the road at different times. And when his wife get married him, she knew what his schedule was, what his job was. She ended up cheating on him
Mm.
with someone else. However, she would go through his phone, take him through all kind of crazy changes. He's like, "Ma'am, I go do what I got to do, and I come on back." Now, of course, you heard the rumors, truck drivers, they got families on the road, and this, that, and the third, and the lot lizards
Mhm.
and all that stuff. We hear those
Mhm.
stories, right?
Yeah,
This man
right.
was like, "Sis, I go do my job and I come home." Right? Ain't
Yeah.
no another side families, ain't no children finna pop up because I'm keeping it like tight. I'm doing what I got to do when I come home. But while
Yeah.
he was away, she was playing. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
so you got things like that. And to me personally, a lot of
Mhm.
times too, when people start doing that and accusing you, 9 times out of 10, they're actually doing that. Not always, but a lot of
Mhm.
times they are the person that's doing the dirt, and so they're trying to get you off of their trail. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
why do that? If you are cheating on me, it's going to come out. If you're not doing right by me, it's gonna come out. It's
Right.
not something that, let me find out, let me do this. I don't do that. It's people put trackers on people's phones, put trackers on their cars. It takes too much energy to
I
do
can't.
that.
I can't. I cannot.
Oh my God. Okay.
I really
People
can't.
think like that though.
They do. They do. And I had more than one friend confide in me. Oh, Charmaine, I'm gonna tell you, girl, here's what we gonna do. I said, who the hell is we? Who is we?
Not
This is
we.
me, baby. You
Not
you
we,
have no
sis.
idea what's really going on. So
Mm-mm. Not we, sis.
um 2014, I just want to rewind and throw this in. 2014, 2015, the whole 180 was done, and I was able to see the phone. I was able to read every text message, trying to make sure, that nothing else would happen again. So, like I said, I'm thinking we straight, but 2018, 2019, here we go again. And now it's I got to work late. I got to go so and so. I'm going to do so and so, and I'll be in at this time. Now, true enough, he did arrive at that time, but there was a lot of hours not accounted for. And this started to happen week after week after week. Like I said, real slow, and then kind of started speeding up. And then the pandemic. So, um, 2020, of course, my children were in the house. He had to start working from home. I lost my job. So that's stress right there. That's
Right.
very stressful. You can't get away. You can't, there's no more date
Right there,
nights. There's
so
no more road trips. We couldn't fly out, flew out. We couldn't do nothing.
no, you do none
So
of that.
none of that. So that was hard sitting looking at the same people all every day. So that's stressful right there. So uh sometimes I would leave and get a break. We kind of had an understanding. I need to get away for a day or so, and I said, "Oh, okay." So I would go leave and do something and have some fun and just get away.
Yeah.
It wasn't too much because I couldn't go over too many friends' houses, but there was
Right.
a couple of people, so um friend girls that I would kind of kick it with or whatever, just to get away. And then he would in turn do the same. Uh but it started getting weird towards the end of 2020. It started getting very strange. Out even later talking about, well, I heard this place opened up, so I'm go uh to this place and meet my friend over there, a guy. And I said, "Oh, boys' night out." He said, "Yeah, something like that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, But it started happening frequently and more frequently, and then he's invited to some outing and some gathering. And I said, "Well, I want to go to the gathering. Why are you not asking me?" You know, uh, so just more and more, what you stay here with the children and I'll be back. So um, I knew at that point, I said, he's messing around. He's
Something's amiss, something's off.
he's actively messing
Mhm.
off.
Mhm.
And I confronted it, but at the same time, I was sitting there thinking, okay, Charmaine,
You ain't got no
uh,
proof.
I don't have
No
any proof.
solid
No,
proof. You got
right.
your
No,
intuition, but you don't have any solid proof. You don't have
right.
your receipts together.
I don't
Right.
have my receipts together because again, Charmaine ain't about to chase you. I promise you. I'm not about to stalk you. I'm not about to beg you. That ain't what she does. She
Right.
don't do that. You
Right.
might do that. She don't do that. So I was
Right.
like, I said, okay, God, you're gonna show me it's all gonna come out because it always does. Um, so but what I did not do was see my counselor like I was supposed because I had a therapist because after mom
Yeah.
died, I really needed to talk to somebody besides him.
Yeah.
So uh, I kind of stopped going to my therapist because I thought I had it right. But the stress of realizing, oh my God, I'm being cheated on. Oh my
Mm.
God, he's disappearing now for hours and hours, sometimes even overnight. Wait a minute, you ain't coming home? So it and it came to a head on March 30th, 2021. Um, I was driving. Well, my girls had asked me to, girls, children had asked me to, let's go to the mall, let's go shopping, let's do whatever, whatever. And I was like, mommy's really tired today, girl. Children, I don't feel good. Can I
Right.
please just lay down? Can mommy get some more rest? I'm just not up to it right now. Okay. So they went back and they played and watched TV or whatever, what have you. Um, Came back in my room about noonish and they said, "What about now? How are you feeling now?" I said, I'm okay. I really wasn't. I was still very fatigued, very dizzy, had a
Yeah.
bad headache, and I just
Mm.
could not shake it. And I was
Mhm.
just really, really weak. So,
Right.
um, nevertheless, I said, okay, let me get myself together. So I got my clothes on or whatever. We got in the car. I left out of my subdivision. Um, and I was about to hit Houston Levee, which is the
Mhm.
main intersection coming up.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, before I even got to the intersection, my whole left side of my body went paralyzed.
Wow.
It went limp. I couldn't control the car. I couldn't drive. I couldn't put my foot on the brake, couldn't put foot on the gas. And we turned and I ran into a tree.
Mm.
And my head went through the windshield.
Mm.
Yeah. So the car accident was a stroke. The stroke was a car accident.
Yeah.
And I was scared. My children were taken to Labana, just minor cuts and bruises, nothing major, not like me. So thank God, thank God. My children were okay. They were okay. Traumatized, scared, of course, but okay. Nothing that they can't, just they were going to be fine. But me, um, when I got to the med, uh, they sewed my head up and they were like, "Oh, this is a bad gash." And I kept saying, "Ma'am, doctor, doctor, I can't move. I can barely," and I kept pointing to my mouth. I kept
Yeah.
pointing to my mouth. I said,
Yeah.
I can. So my mouth was, twisted a little bit and dragging and drooping. And my whole left side of my body was still like really, really
No.
dead. It was
Oh,
just paralyzed, just like hanging. And I really couldn't talk a lot, but uh, it said, "Oh, you'll be okay. Charmaine, you'll be okay." So they stitched my head up or whatever and gave me about 20 or 30 stitches in my head across my eye. It came down over my eye after they
mm,
pulled my head out the windshield. Um, so I was like, okay, I wasn't okay. I was said, well, I said, I'm not sure what to do because I just don't feel right. I'm barely able to walk.
right.
So they got me up and I kind of pushed a chair to the bathroom to go use it or whatever. And I kind of pushed the chair back, but my arm was drooping. My
Yeah.
leg was flying across the floor.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. So
Yeah.
the med released me. They let me go home anyway. Yeah. So the next morning when I woke up, I could barely move. I was back in my bed, but I could barely move. So I called for him and he helped me get up to go to the bathroom. And at that point, I just completely fell. That was it. That was it. That was it. It really completely had, I guess it was a ITA or something, TIA or something like that.
TIA. It's
Yes.
a transient ischemic
Mhm.
attack or something like that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So that's what happened on the 30th. But see, by the 31st, oh, she was full blown
Wow.
stroked out because I could barely move. I could barely, and when I was transferred to the other hospital, they said, "Have we just gotten you the day before? We could have, what's that little shot they, what, whatever it is that they give you to help you, kind of come out of it so it doesn't, you know, but it was too late.
So
I,
you were
the,
still in the midst of the stroke when you were at the med. They were like, "Well, girl, you fine. Go on home. We done stitched you up." Y'all,
it,
I
it,
remember you telling me that you guys requested a specific hospital, but because of the trauma
yes,
of the injury, uh,
right.
they insisted that they take you to the other
Mhm.
hospital.
They took one look at my head and said, you going to the med. They have the best trauma, doctors there. They can, fix you up and blah, blah, blah. It's not too late. We can still, save your face and save your head and save your left eye. Cause I was afraid of losing my left eye because it was gashed up so bad. I mean, it
Right,
was bad, bad.
right.
So that's why they took me, even though I wanted to go somewhere else. What I knew was I had been there before and they took really good care of me. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, I was sent to the med. They stitched me up, but by the next day, I was out of it. It was really bad. So we called 911. I was transported to the original hospital that I asked to go to, and they took one look at me and said, "You've had an ischemic stroke." And I said, "Wait, who? Wait a minute. She 45. What you mean she had an ischemic
What
stroke?
you mean she had a stroke? Yeah.
What are you talking about?" It said, "Charmaine, tell me about what you've been dealing with." So I told him about the stress and my blood pressure was high because I was being stupid about blood pressure medicine. I would take it, then I wouldn't, then I would, then I wouldn't. So I took it according to how I was feeling, but that wasn't no good.
That was not
I
the right
learned
way to do that.
I,
Yeah.
I, I learned that. So you put strokes, uh stress, not taking blood pressure medicine. I was diabetic at the time. I would take the insulin. I took the insulin, I took the medicine, but still, there were still other things I should have been doing for my body, and I was not.
And
I was running around.
you know what I learned from my mom, because my
Okay.
mom deals with heart failure as well as diabetes.
Yeah.
Um, those I didn't realize that those two things have something to directly do with one another. So if one of them is off, the other one will be triggered. There are some people that just have heart failure, and there are some people
Mm.
who just have diabetes. But if one of those things are off, 9 times out of 10, something might be off with your sugar. Your
Yep.
blood pressure might be high that will cause your sugar to go out of whack. So I
Yep.
learned that, and I was like, for real? And I was like, I guess it makes sense because
Yeah.
that's a totally different disease from heart disease.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so I didn't recognize that those things could kind of go hand in hand. So if something was awry with your diabetes, I
Yes.
imagine something would have been awry elsewhere
Right.
as well. Yeah.
You just feel so. I just kept thinking back to myself. And I'm about to get to rehab and all that, but I just kept
Okay.
thinking back to myself. Had I just gone to the therapist and talked it out, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Had I just taken my blood pressure medicine, because it almost like one pill, so I really wasn't that bad. But see, I lied to myself. Charmaine, you okay? But no, there was nothing okay about that at all. I just was trying to keep going for my girls. This is still in the middle of a pandemic. I don't want to add on anything extra. So I thought if you
And you
suppress
could have
it,
virtually did therapy. You
I
could have
know,
took your meds. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
And
Well,
and that's fine. I get it. Now hindsight is 2020, but you
yeah,
absolutely could have, because at that time they were really revving up like the talk space and the that. But
right,
even with the insurance that we have,
yeah,
there were ways at the time during the pandemic that we could have sat down and talked to somebody
correct,
virtually, and it wouldn't have been a
correct,
problem. Yeah.
correct, correct. But no, I got this. I'm good. No. So, I'm laying up in rehab. So they say, yeah, you had a ischemic stroke. It was moderate. It wasn't major. It was moderate, but it wasn't mild either. So,
Right.
it was a blood clot in the back of my neck on my right side, right down here in the back. That's where the blood clot formed.
Yeah.
So that's why my whole left side was paralyzed and dead because it was on the right side. Had it been
Wow.
on the left side, my right side would have been paralyzed. But the
Yeah.
blood clot was down at the bottom of my neck, at the bottom on the right. So it messed up my whole left side. So as I'm in rehab, I'm asking God, okay, God, this is it. My husband is unfaithful. My mommy's gone. There's nothing else for me to do.
Yeah.
Let me go. Please, God, let me go. My children will be okay. They got other people who can raise them, whatever, whatever. This is it. This is it for Charmaine. Signing off. See you. Get me up out of here. So he was like, no, no, no. I don't care nothing about that. You still got something to do. I'm like, well, what can I do? What are you talking about
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do? So very depressed, very suicidal, very angry, very upset. But I
Mm.
really couldn't do anything. So
Right.
having to depend, you talking about being humbled, having to depend on someone to help me get it to the bathroom, help me take a shower, help me wipe myself, okay? Help me eat. I didn't know how to eat. I couldn't walk. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It was from hell. And so we're still married during this time. He's completely taking care of the children because I'm not there. I'm in rehab trying to learn how to walk again. Trying to learn how to, well, my speech came back pretty fast, thank God. So my face really didn't wasn't really drooping anymore. Sometimes I stutter or I lose track of thought. But other than that, my speech is okay. And I thank God for that.
Yeah.
But learning to walk was a very long, hard journey. Of course, I couldn't work anymore. I was permanently disabled, according, to the definition.
Yeah.
And so I was done with working. I couldn't work. I couldn't, really care for my children. Um, and I think the worst part is, well, I'm going too fast. So since I totaled the car, um, there was another vehicle purchased, and that was cool, but I couldn't drive. So
Yeah.
once I got out of rehab, after about 5 weeks, I was in rehab. Because again, if you can't walk, you can't leave. You
You
got to
can't
be
leave.
able to.
Absolutely.
I got to be able to at least be able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So I was finally able to walk, and we practiced getting in and out of the little rehab car that they had sitting there. And I couldn't even get my legs in. My legs were so stiff and so weak, I couldn't even pick up my leg to get into the little model car. So how am I actually ever going to get home, get out of here? So
Yeah.
a lot of obstacles and things to overcome. Um, a lot. But I did. I kept fighting, and I came on out of there finally. Uh, but I don't think I know. Something else that really, really took me down was when I finally did get back home. Because we were FaceTiming every day and I was talking to the children and laughing. They was playing games and they did homework, with me while they was on the phone. And so I gave them the answers and stuff. So that part was okay.
Yeah.
When I actually finally walked back through my doors and I realized I don't have a car. Someone still has to help me get in and out of the bed. Someone still has
Mhm.
to help me bathe and stuff like that. I had friends come over to help, but a lot of that fell on him. So
Yeah.
the stress, I'm sure, see, so now we're just compacting, just trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. So I felt at that point in 2021, when I finally came home, I said, this ain't going to last much longer. Because
Wow.
I said to myself, don't nobody, if I didn't think anybody wanted me before, oh hell, I know with a stroke, don't nobody want me now. I'm not the game. I'm out. So I had kind of given up. There's no
Mm.
kind of to it. I gave up on love. I gave up on relationship. I gave up on trying to make it work. By this time I know he's out in these streets. He's going on trips. Now he's added road trips. So now he leaves for 2 or 3 days. And sometimes he calls the children to check on them. Sometimes he doesn't. I'm trying to figure out where he is. Can you bring us something home to eat? Because I'm still not really cooking at this time.
And you're not
Um,
able to go and do
I'm not able to
anything for
go.
yourself. Yeah.
Right. Very, very little. I kept pushing rehab and I learned how to walk again. I started cooking again. I started cleaning again. So that was big to me. Um, but it still wasn't enough. It still was not enough.
Yeah.
Uh, and I guess the worst part was I couldn't drive. So man, Faith, you talking about me crying every time they would say, okay, mommy, I'm gone. And they would walk out that door, Faith, and leave me by myself.
Mm.
They gotta live. They're children. They're
Their
supposed to
children.
go and
Right.
go to the practices and go to the games and go to the recital. They're supposed to. Who am
Yeah.
I to stop a child from living? I'm not
Yeah.
that girl. I want you
Right.
to live, but I want to be a part too. And I was just still so messed up from the stroke, still
Yeah.
recovering, that
Yeah.
I wasn't able to really go anywhere. So I would get left a lot of times. And still couldn't drive, of course. So fast forward. So any everything's still going on, whatever, what have you. I start feeling better. I start losing weight. I start moving more. And then I get a car because I'm back to driving. Finally, I was able to start driving maybe about 18 months after the accident. Excuse me. So if the accident happened in 2021, sometime in 2023, I was driving again.
Yeah.
So I need another car. Thank you, Lord. I was taking my time, driving like Miss Daisy, but I was
But
driving.
I mean, what we got to do is what we got to do, baby, so we can be comfortable again.
Baby, look.
Okay.
So my children said,
So,
Mama,
girl, when we getting
you,
there?
you going? Are you sure? I said, yes, I'm going, baby. I'm going. So they were a little
Girl,
bit
this
nervous.
car moving slow, girl. What you do? I know how kids are.
Right. They were like, just let me catch an Uber. I said, get up in here. So um, so yeah, I started doing that and I started driving again. And then I was just in prayer one day and I said, I got to get this weight off of me. I got to get this weight off of me. I want to live a better life. My quality of life is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to get it back. I'm ready to be able to, no, I can't work right now. I'm disabled, I'm permanently disabled. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. But what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I do?
Yeah.
So I started thinking about the things that I still can do and the things that I could do better and even more if I just lost some more weight. So uh, I had a weight loss surgery
Okay.
in last year, right? Ain't that right, Faye?
Was it last
Help
year?
me, girl. Was it last
I
year?
thought it was. No, I don't think it was last year, friend. I thought it was before last year.
Okay, 2023 then. Okay, end of 2023. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Help me, girl. So,
'Cause last year was 24.
right. Okay, so the end of 2023, I had it. And so far, I have lost almost 120 pounds.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. So she in
That's
these
good.
streets. So I'm losing the weight, but at the same time, um, I knew that, like I said, I knew again, I'm never chasing anybody. I'm not gonna beg you to stay. Uh, my self-esteem had gotten so low at that point. I think I mentioned counseling, but I was told no. I'm good on that. Uh, I don't want to try. I said, oh, I'm not happy. I'm just not happy in the marriage. I said, oh, okay, well, guess there's nothing else to be done, nothing else to be said. So uh, the divorce happened, and yeah, the divorce happened. And go ahead, what was you gonna say?
So with you, because I remember you saying that you felt like you had said to yourself that this wasn't gonna last much longer after you got home after the stroke.
Yeah,
Were
yeah,
you surprised by him not wanting to try?
yes, I was because I was thinking, well, maybe somewhat, but not completely, because I remember over the years how the children were always my responsibility. You would bring home the check, which is great. The money was juicy, okay? But you got to be there. Your
Yeah,
presence is required as well.
yeah.
Your leadership, your
It's required.
guidance is required as well. That's
Yeah.
it's all one package deal, not just your check, not just your money. Money don't solve nothing. So, um, but that was very early in the game that I was kind of put over, you know, taking care of everything. So, um, and I guess I should have pushed back more and fought more, but I'm still thinking potential, potential.
I but
It's
to
gonna come
and
up.
yeah, with potential, because we talk about that, and I hear a lot of the dating gurus say don't date for potential.
Please.
Don't date for potential. So
Out.
and I'm assuming you agree with that. with
Completely.
with that, is it because there are some people that have dreams, they have goals, they have aspirations, they is there things that they want to do. So
Yeah,
was
yeah.
there something in particular that he was there a particular goal or a dream that y'all may have worked towards, or did he just not have a plan? He just wanted to just get a job somewhere.
Said a career, but working towards that was something totally different that I really uh, had to push to push to push to push to see come to fruition. I'm not saying it never would have been reached because I don't think that's fair to say,
Yeah.
but with my help, with me backing up and making sure I had his back no matter what, I was there. I was
Oh,
there to make sure that
so
he was able to get where he wanted to go. But when I got sick the first time, he was there. I cannot lie, he was there.
yeah.
In 2009, he was there. When I couldn't have
Hmm.
children, he was there. Uh, but after that, I'm just not sure what I had a friend tell me, baby, upgrading somebody is dangerous because when they don't think that they can, I don't want to say that. But anyway,
I'm gonna say this. I When you date potential, a lot of times the women that are there working with the man to get the man to a better place, a lot of times those men leave those women behind because they feel like they can do better. Because they feel like they can do better. She said, let me
I'm
sip
listening.
this straight.
One more time for the people. Mm. I
so
said, really? So this is who
in
we are?
in my journey of dating, my goal is not I want to build with someone,
Come
but I
on.
need you to have some type of goal, some type of drive, some type of something going on for yourself.
That's right.
I have that drive. I know what I want. I know
Right.
exactly what I want. I know exactly what I want to do.
Right.
I want the person that I'm with to have the same drive, and we're gonna grow and build together. At this point in my life, I also can't have kids because I got sick and had to have
Mm. Mhm.
not only a tumor removed, but I had to
Mhm.
have a partial hysterectomy. So I can't have no kids at all, period.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so I ain't bringing no more babies into the world. At one point in
Mhm.
time in my life, I thought that, husband me so I could have another child. Um, but no, that ain't what the Lord has called me for to do. So now in my second act of life,
Mhm.
because this 22-year-old, we finishing up school. We trying to get the certifications and the things he needs so he can go ahead and be the man that the
Yeah.
Lord called him to be out in the world. And then this little 14-year-old said, "Baby, just wait. I'm gonna be out of here too." So it's just gonna be me. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy my company. I enjoy me very much, but I
Mhm.
want to share life with a mate. And I would have loved to have shared life with a mate before now,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I don't want to date potential. I don't
Come
want to
on.
date potential. I want to encourage a man who has a vision. And I think, and I say this all the time, when you lack vision, you can't come into my life and tell me you're gonna lead me somewhere and you don't have a vision
There you
or
go.
goals or
There
any
you go.
aspirations or nothing, and you're not actively working towards it. You
I
get
was
what I'm
told,
saying?
I was told, good job, good job. I want a good job. I want a good job. I said, oh, okay. But still, I'm thinking, okay, well, over time, he'll snap out of it. Hmm. I feel
Yeah,
you. I totally, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Um. So yeah, the potential thing is and I'm not saying that a brother can't approach me that ain't working towards something. Like if you got a job and you want to be a singer and you work in your job and you out here singing, I I'm because you doing what you're working in your gift, you're working in your
Right,
goals, you're
right.
elevating yourself. So I got this job over here and I'm doing this and I'm doing it
Uh-huh.
and I'm hustling and making it do what it do. I'm getting it in the paint. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? But if
Yeah.
you keep saying to me, I want to sing, I want to sing, I want to sing, and you just go to karaoke every week and sing, but you're not taking those steps to move in a different direction, nah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna leave you over there. I'm not doing
Hmm.
that anymore. I'm
Right.
not doing it. Not doing it. Men want us to help them get to where they need to be, but then when you get to where you need to be, you want to peace out. I'm not interested in doing it.
And
So,
that's how niggas get their throat slit. Yeah. That's how they cut up and dashed up and shanked up and
I'm
it
not
gets
doing that.
nasty in
No,
these
I'm
streets.
I'm not pouring into anybody who is not pouring into me, and I don't want to
Man.
pour into anybody who is selfishly looking for a step up so they can find a better model in their mind. Because baby, I know what I am and I know what I bring to the table.
Trust
Okay,
me.
so
Trust me.
I don't think that there's a better model than me out there. Get what I'm
Come
saying?
on. Come on,
But
Lamont. Right.
but if in your mind you're always looking for the next best thing, you're never
Yes.
gonna be happy. You're never gonna be satisfied.
And there you have it.
Ever.
And there you have it.
Yep.
I wanted to go back right quick
Okay.
to right before I got the divorce. I remember sitting in the house that he and I had together, and he would say stuff like, uh, this started, okay, so if I had the stroke in 2021, maybe about 2022-ish, towards the end of 2022, I would hear
Mhm.
things like, well, if it's sad that you can't work, it's like you can't, I would hear things like, you can't contribute much to the house. You don't do much. Like, really? It's come to that?
When
That's
I
how you
had a
that's how you see me?
stroke.
So,
So those
that was
vows, so vows, how, in your opinion,
what they at? What vows?
how how seriously do you think people really take their vows?
And don't. It's
Yeah.
cool for a while until something real hits, and then we find out who you really are.
So let me ask you this, because I know y'all did the counseling and everything. Did y'all have conversations about, and I'm not saying trying to put anything out in the atmosphere, but did y'all have conversations in reference to those vows? Like, what if something happens if one of us got sick? What if something
Okay.
happens? Did y'all have those conversations? Did y'all have a plan in place in the event something like that happened?
No, we didn't. I know after 2009, we got a lot, our thoughts, we got a lot closer and just more defined about what our next steps are, what type of coverage do we need, what, do we put in place in case something happens, with us for the children. We talked about stuff like that, but uh
Y'all never
we didn't.
talked about what it would take to sustain in the event that something happened major for one of you guys.
No,
You
we
get what I'm
didn't.
saying? So here's where I'm going with that.
No, we didn't.
We can make changes and make arrangements for the monetary to be there. And even I would even go as far as to say there should have been further planning with the monetary. But
Yeah.
and the reason why I say that is because, you know, you having to go to rehab. I'm sure that might have been included in insurance. I'm not sure. I don't know the ins and outs of that. But
Hmm.
even having someone to come to the house to help take some
Yeah.
of the weight off. You know what I'm
And
saying?
we
Having
did. Oh,
a nanny, to come in during the day to help out with the girls or to come in to help. He got to work and do this. So something to me, I feel like there should have been some other provisions put in place. Even when you got sick the first time, there should have been some further planning involved. Just my thought process, and you can stop me if I'm wrong.
no, you're
But
fine because in 2009 there were no children, so it was just he and I. So that was
but y'all knew. So here's my thing:
okay.
the plan was to get kids, right? Y'all were planning to adopt. So could we have revisited? Okay, so in the event something happens to you, something happens to me. What do we need to do? Can we put a plan in place for if this takes place? What needs to happen with this? If this because that's a lot, and I like how you said, everything fell on him. You understood. I had a stroke, and I couldn't do what I was normally doing because of that. But and you also recognized that there was extra pressure and extra stress on him.
Which was
But
out of balance from the beginning because I let it go on so long of me handling
correct.
everything.
So that's what I'm
So
saying. With us having conversations, we don't
mhm,
have a lot of times, a
yeah.
lot of things can be resolved with a conversation. People don't want to have conversations. They don't want to have tough conversations. They don't want to
Mhm.
have conversations in the event this happens, this is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? And I think what people need to do is not only plan for death, because we talk about life insurance a lot. We talk about making sure that something's left behind in the event something happens, or they can take care of funeral expenses or whatever. We talk about that, but we don't talk about life events that will alter the way of
Mm,
our lives and what can be put in place to help with those things, right?
because
Um,
if you don't have a partner who's willing to talk about the hard stuff, then
yeah.
what are you supposed to do?
I got you. And so that was the question that I was asking. We
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
don't take those, we don't have those discussions. We
Yeah.
really don't. We say the vows, but we really don't mean them like 100% because when a hard situation comes up or something comes up where we got to face, and now children are added, so that's an added stress. I don't care, children,
It is.
are gifts from God. Absolutely, hallelujah.
They are. They are.
But them little mugs get in trouble. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with attitudes. You got to make sure they room clean, make sure the homework done, make sure they pass, make sure they alive. That's a whole nother responsibility. You
And
see what
when
I'm
you're
saying?
used to doing it mostly by yourself, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happens to the main one who does all of that stuff, and then you actually have to step up and do it.
So
That's
let me ask you this, because I was watching a show.
oh
Uh,
wait, can I say this right quick?
go
Can
ahead,
I
go
say
ahead.
this? A lot of times they would go over his grandparents' house and spend days and days and sometimes weeks over there just to get a space to get breathing. We had people come in to clean the house and sit with me and help me out. So there was a lot of different support from a lot of different places. I
Okay,
just
okay.
want to say
So
that.
y'all did have support. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
quite a bit, quite a bit.
okay. But essentially, it ended up falling on him. with the kids and everything too. Okay, I got you. So here's my
Absolutely.
thing. Um, I was watching this show called Tonight's Conversation. Shout out to them. I follow them. I'm a big fan. They're supposed to be here in January on the 18th. I won't be able to do it because I will be slanging drinks. However, I will be bartending. However, um, okay, cool. I'm sorry.
Are you
My
fine?
mama had me. My mama had me take her over to my brother's house so she could play Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman because he ain't feeling good. And so we tried to walk him through how to take this COVID test, but it was weird because all of them are different, right? And
Oh,
it didn't work out. So I don't know what he did to get it to work, but it came back negative. So that's I'm glad he got to figure out if he got the flu or something. I pray to God we had the mask on. We had the mask on.
right, right.
Oh, um. So,
You was watching the show and what happened?
huh? What I say?
You said you was watching
Oh,
the show.
tonight's
Shout out to
tonight's conversation. I'm sorry. So tonight's conversation, um, the lady was saying that there are a lot of women who are married who are single parents.
that's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Is it too late to get on live? Can I jump off of here and go and talk to her? Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had a flashback. Go ahead. I'm back. Okay. Here and go.
And that's my thing because gone are the times where we in the 1950s, in the 1960s, and
Yeah.
you know, the husbands go out and make the money and the wives stay home and take care of the kids and the household. Now, there
Everything.
are some people who do that.
Right.
They may be socialites. Uh, they may be socialites or they may do
Mhm.
whatever. But real talk, that's just not how the world works at this point. 9 times out of 10,
That's not
women have to go to work. A lot of men that want that antiquated lifestyle, I got to work too.
right.
You
Right.
know, I gotta go to
Right.
work just like you do. You want your
Right.
dinner on the table when you get home from work, but I went to work too. And I don't mind doing it, but I got to do it every night.
And the killer part, I got to throw this in there. When the conversation was first had about adoption, and I was happily working while I was working as a teacher in education. I was very happy doing that. I was asked to come home to be the main parent. I was asked to do that. I was asked to leave my job. I was told everything will be taken care of, everything will be fine. I need you to come home. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. In hindsight, I wish that I had not. I wish I could have still juggled both in hindsight. Because it's hard going from a two-income household
To a
down
one
to
income
one
household, y'all gonna struggle.
and
You gonna
having to put
struggle.
all my trust and dependency into you. And I'm still looking for the leader. Where he at? Where's that? So hey, I might have made a mistake. I'm being transparent about that. Maybe I should have been like, nope, we're gonna make this work because I ain't about to quit my job and be struggling.
Yeah.
I need my little hair money and my nails. Hello, do you see me? So um maybe I should have fought a little bit harder to continue working or at least reduce my hours so that way I could do both.
And I think that should have been a compromise. I don't think it should have been a straight up come home, quit your job.
Yeah,
Because I would have, in my mind, I would have been like, okay, let's crunch the numbers. Let's see if this makes sense.
yeah,
In the
yeah,
post, okay, husband. Because, you know, in church, we're taught to
yeah,
submit to our husbands as he
yeah,
submits unto the Lord.
yeah,
Uh, but if real talk, things ain't getting done the way they need to be getting done,
right.
it becomes a problem for everybody involved. You're
Because I
also
was,
taking care of two other people.
yeah, I was able to go back to work in like 2018, 2019, up until 2020. So I was part-time working again and so able to do other things with the children. So
Yeah.
I did eventually go back, but that was a good 5 or 6 year period. I was just at home. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I ain't going there. I enjoy my time
Right.
with my children, but
Right. But
I sure didn't.
eventually they also had to go to school though too. So you was at the house just until they got out of school. So
Yeah,
even with that, I think there should have been some type of because if the kids at school all day, the house
right,
clean food. What
right,
you the house is clean. Okay.
right.
What you want me to do? I'm just sitting here watching my stories all day. What explain to me what you want me? And that's my thing. Like there should be some type of compromise. And a lot of guys who say they want their woman to stay home, they don't have the income to sustain that type of lifestyle.
Ooh, ooh,
They don't.
ooh.
And I'm not trying. It's no shade to anybody out there, but
I
a lot of
know.
times when
Right.
when men want to have polyamorous relationships, and this ain't got nothing to do with your thing, but I'm gonna say this: they want
Yeah.
to have the majority of the men who want the polyamorous relationships do not have the income to sustain the polyamorous. You got to take care of these women and the children that y'all are bringing into the world. So oftentimes you see those situations where they're not thriving;
Mm.
they are barely
Mm.
surviving. And I'm not
Uh-huh.
saying things are not gonna happen and life is not gonna happen, but I'm just saying
Right. Right.
you can't come to me and tell me you want me to stop working my job and come home and do blah 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 blah, and you can't take care of the bills and make sure we ain't gonna have to move in a month because
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
or we're gonna be sitting in the dark lighting candles all over the place. You can't
Right.
you can't say that to me.
Doing seances and stuff. We ain't doing all
Right,
that.
we can't.
Right.
So those are my things. Typically, when people who have those requirements in their head, they're not prepared to do certain things. I'm not talking about upper echelon people who. I'm talking about regular, smegular,
Make it look.
average Joes
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
require these things, but you don't have the stability to maintain what
Exactly.
is going on or happening. And that's
Yeah.
not fair for somebody to sign up for that because I didn't sign up for instability. I signed up for stability.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's crazy, man.
So it's so like I said, I was not going to file. I still was praying. I said, okay, God, okay, we can still do the marriage counseling. It's possible, I still didn't want to do it. But it all came to a head when he chose to go out of town for an entire week. And I'm talking about out of town to a whole nother state for an entire week. And nobody was really able to reach him much. Some, but not.
But not
So I
for real.
knew that the trip was not taken alone.
Right.
Um, I knew that. I knew that. I said, wait a minute, if you spending money like this in a big city like that, I said, we ain't got nothing. So I informed. I said, now, I just want to be transparent with you. If you go, if you leave, that's it. It's a wrap. So by the time he got back, I was about to file. So I went ahead and filed because that, I guess, Faith, I had got hit in the face so many times, not physically, but
Being a punching right. You can't keep being somebody's punching bag. That's
thank
that
you.
that's very that's true. And people get tired.
It
And I
was so
can't
blatant. I was like, you just blatant with it. You're on the phone whispering and giggling and laughing. And as soon as I hit the door, oh, I'll call you back. Nigga, please. Just let's wrap this up. So
yeah.
yeah. You're right. At some point, low self-esteem, stroke survivor and all. I deserve better than that. And I finally woke up and said, no, you deserve better. Nobody's
Yeah.
perfect, but this, I wasn't serving you this. Why you serving this to me? I
Yeah.
never did you this way. So
Yeah.
yeah. So girl, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But God is good. God is so good. As I always say, I don't do STDs or side babies. So before, cause see, I can't be held responsible had I found out so and so is prego, or or
You done
I
brought
woke
me
up itching and
home.
burning
So,
something. Now
yeah.
at that point, right. So before it got all the way there and I became a lifetime mover or some BET plus type stuff, So no, let me step on out now and save myself. I got these children watching me. It's about the life you live.
Yeah.
And whatever you say or whatever, however you try to flip it around to people to make it look one side or whatever, in the end, Charmaine didn't stoop to your level. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
That's on you. That's between you and God.
Yeah.
But my children are watching me like a hawk. They're watching you too. But
Yeah.
I guess you're okay with whatever lifestyle. But I just refuse to live that way in front of my children.
It's funny because uh another episode that I did with our friend Wendy, where she was talking about her dad's indiscretions and how
Yeah.
that made her not fully trust men, uh,
Mm.
and going into situations not really taking it seriously because she just felt like this is what men do because that's what you saw. That was the example that you had of
Yeah.
what love is and what a relationship is. And
Yeah.
people are watching you in that
Yeah.
sense. So when you have kids, I think it hurts even more.
It does.
It hurts even more.
My
Um,
children, they really
yeah.
shared some hurtful, very hurtful and heartbreaking things to me since the divorce. And I just, anyway, it has
So
not been easy for them.
right. So let me ask you this, and we're gonna wrap up soon. What
Okay.
Tell me, what has your life been like after? Like, have you
So let me tell you something about spiritual warfare and demonic influences, baby. I had to get the hell out of that house.
got
You
you?
talking about ready to take a bottle of pills? Well, maybe I shouldn't be saying it. The hell
No,
I'ma say it.
I mean it's transparent. You're being transparent.
Taking a
That's
whole bottle of pills with a good old glass of wine and never waking up being in that house because
yeah,
that's the house I was cheated on. That's the house I was lied to. That's
yeah,
the house I was put down in and belittled and, disappearing for nights and, well, not nights, yeah, nights too, but for hours and hours. That's that house. So I had to get out of there. And man, now that I'm over here in my new place, so much peace. I got my peace back. Faith, I got my peace back. And that's what it's all about. It's about protecting my peace. And I just did not realize the type of mental and emotional bondage that I was in.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm so much happier now. Oh my God. It was a good move for me. It was the move for me to make.
Got you, got you, got you. And that's understandable because sometimes we hold on. A lot of people hold on to things and they stay miserable in a situation where they know they're not happy in. But they stay for loyalty. They stay for
Mhm.
uh oh, because we've been together for this long, so why? And I'm gonna ask you this: do you think that's why a lot of couples who have been together for so long are now like realizing it's time to peace out, it's time to move forward, move on? Because I hear couples who've been married for 20, 30, 40 years and then they decide they want to get a divorce.
That's a lot for me. But yes, I think a lot came during the pandemic, just being there every single day with that person. You really got to see some stuff that maybe you
Yeah,
weren't ready to see.
yeah,
So I think since the pandemic, a lot of people been waking up being like, I'm good on that because we were married for 17 years,
yeah.
almost 20. But hey, you got to do what you got to do, honey. You got to do what you got to do. But my breakthrough came when I finally got out of that house. That's when my breakthrough came. I'm sure it's
And
different for, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, 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 no. I was just gonna say I'm sure it was very freeing for you
Yeah.
to do it because we was like, girl, you finna sell, why you gonna sell the house, baby? You need to da, 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 da. We was like, why you doing that?
Baby,
Uh
y'all was hot at me. I thought to myself, do you realize the hell I went through in this house? So it
we
was
got
just best.
yeah, and you gotta do
I
what
don't
you
want
gotta
to
do for
rent
you.
it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, you have to do what you have to do for you. You know, even though all of us was like, girl, you better not sell that house. Why you doing that? You
Yep.
have to do things that make sense for you. You can't do it based on what other people are saying to you. Because we was all like, I want to get rid of that house. These folk, they trying to they trying to get the houses for the this and the that. And I wouldn't have,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Nice neighborhood, good house. There's a great family that bought it. Keyword is bought. So
Mm,
she got what she needed. Okay. So
okay.
I'm all right. She all right, girl. Look, getting out of there was just everything, and a great family has it. And God is good. God is faithful, and it's never over. I don't care what you think it is. It's not over yet. So, and I do believe in love. I still do.
Well, that's good. I'm glad because a lot of people don't. After they done went through a divorce and they went through certain things, they
A
don't believe in
stroke and
love anymore.
yeah.
But I believe that there is something or someone out there for somebody. And whereas you might have missed your opportunity because you were stuck in a situation that you weren't supposed to be in,
Yeah.
or you stayed
Mm.
in a situation that
Yeah.
you probably should have been gone long time ago.
Expiration date,
Right.
spoil milk, baby. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I believe it's somebody out there for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts that you want to share with any
Yes,
with us?
I wrote them down, so I got to share them.
Okay.
Right quick, I wrote down some stats because I'm a statistical person, so I like to read and research and understand. Am I
Okay.
the only one? Is something wrong with me? But no, it's really not. Um, you already know this 50% or half of all marriages end in divorce,
Right.
even Christian households. It doesn't
Mm,
matter whether you save or not.
mm-hmm.
60% of second marriages end in divorce. So this is my second marriage. Uh, every 42 seconds, there's a divorce in the United States. So basically, that's like 86 divorces per hour.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Let's sit in there for a minute. I said,
Mm,
oh, so it's not alone. You're not alone. I guess, oh, this is the last one I had to share. Uh 78% of couples end in divorce when someone has a stroke, cancer, or a serious uh
illness.
illness. Yeah, serious illness.
Yeah, that sickness and the health thing just really, I see people really show their behinds. They
Yes.
start cheating on their spouse. They start
Yeah.
doing things that ain't sickness and the health, sir, ma'am. I done seen situations where the
Yeah.
wife was dead and y'all like the dirt ain't cooled off yet from them
Right.
burying and you done married the next woman. It's really crazy.
Yes, it
It's
is.
really
Yes, it
weird.
is. And it really
Yeah.
can take you down through if you let it. So yeah, girl, I say, wait, 78% of couples. So I'm nowhere near alone. It's not a monopoly. It's actually very
Common.
average, common,
Yeah.
common. That's the word. It's
It's
very
more
common, and
common
that's
than
sad.
than not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
we talked about this off camera. I didn't know if you was ready
I
to
know.
to,
I
to
know.
tell your story. Um but I thank you for being transparent. I thank you for coming on here and just sharing your story and letting people know and also giving people hope because just because this situation happened to you, just because this took place, doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't have to be over. You still
That's right.
alive. As long as you got the breath of
That's right.
life in you, you can keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
have to. I have to. I'm driving again. I got my own vehicle. I got my own house. I live most of the time independently by myself. I don't need anybody to be here with me. I
Yeah.
talk, I move, I walk, I wash and clean. I do everything right here
Yeah.
alone. So yes, there
Yeah.
is life after stroke and there is life after divorce. Don't ever
Amen.
say it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Amen.
is.
Amen. Amen. Well, again, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I'm so glad that you were able to come on here and tell your story on this rainy day, Lord. We done been hitched. I done waited in the water two weeks in a row. Last Saturday it was some real waiting in the water because I don't know how to keep the streets clean around here.
Mhm.
But I am very grateful that you were able to do this and come on here and tell your story. So we are grateful and thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you.
I love
Uh,
you too.
Make sure you guys check out Cocktail Therapy. every Wednesday at 6 p.m. New episodes will be airing on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and then we will download or upload the episodes to Spreaker so you can listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Charmaine, you are working on something, and I want you to kind of share what you're working on with everybody and just kind of tell them how they can follow you.
Okay, I'm gonna make it real quick. God gave me last year, and I've been wrestling and fighting against it. Talk about the stroke. Tell people your do a blog, do a podcast. Just tell people about the stroke road and surviving it and how you can thrive and move on and just give hope to people. So
Yeah.
that's what he told me to do. So I'm being obedient. On Facebook, Sassy Stroke Survivor. Follow me, find me. Um, we'll just be sharing and talking about stroke and stroke caregivers and just different things, because no one is talking about it and someone needs to talk about it. So
Someone definitely needs to talk about it, and I think also it's key to also not only talk about it but also talk about the stressors that are involved with it, some type of different foods that you could probably eat to help along your journey. If you're interested in weight loss, you got information about that because you did have the surgery. So all of that, y'all make sure y'all follow the Sassy Stroke Survivor over on Facebook. Yes, follow her. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys tune in on another episode of Cocktail Therapy, the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good day.